What's going on, guys? Got quads and calves today. Starting off a little bit different this morning. Now, I usually start off on the leg extensions just to get everything warmed up, get some blood flowing into the quads. I usually do a couple working sets and then 3 working sets. But I've decided, since for my quad day I only do, quad and calf, I only do a total of like 4 movements. I said I could probably add a 3rd warm-up set just to like really get my quads pre-exhausted and pre-fatigued before going into, like a heavy squatting type of movement. So that's what I'm doing here. I did add another 10 pounds over what I would have done last week. If this feels a little bit too heavy, then I'll probably have to maybe sub that out for a 5. But I'm at least going to try with this one first. On the first set, I did get 1 more rep over last week, so that was pretty good. That's ultimately why I decided to throw a 10 on there. If I can I'm trying to stay within, like 8 to 10 reps on these. So I know if sorry, I'm trying to find a good song because they've actually got no music playing in here today. I know obviously if I fall short of that, then I'll have to decrease the load. But let's get into the second set, see how this one goes. Just barely getting 8 reps on those with a extra 10 pounds on there. I'll leave it. I think I'll leave the extra 10 on there. See where that gets me for the last set. Because, like, either way, even if I don't hit 8, I'm still taking the set to failure. So that's ultimately what I want to do anyways. So if it's, a rep or 2 short, then it's not really a big deal. Getting ready to go into final set on this. This one should be pretty good. I like to kind of get my shorts out of the way. That way I can see the quads working. All right, let's get this last set. Yeah, I'm gonna call it right there. It's like 6 decent reps, and then that 7th one really wasn't all that good. For 6, I'm gonna say. Said overall, not bad. 6 still isn't a bad spot to land. Still plenty of stimulus as long as you're working hard. Gonna unrack these weights and then jump into some hack squats. All right, so getting ready to go into set number 2 of hack squats, which did feel a little bit heavier this morning. I don't know if it's a combination of me doing the extra set on the extensions or the box platform that I usually use was not on the hack squat. There was a box platform on here, but it was a little bit of a different one. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit narrower, and I didn't quite like how, because of how narrow it is, it left my foot position. So I found the normal platform that I use. Hopefully it makes it feel like it normally does. Let's go. Make sure this thing's planted because it does like to slide on me. I think that's good. Thanks. Fucking working for that set. Got one more set to go. Might do like an extra 5 on each side just because it is feeling a bit heavier this week. I know last week I did get up to 400. I did have Kira spot me, or she was at least there for me on that last set because I needed her. So might just do 390 this week and then see how that leads me into, or how I end up feeling when I do these again next week. All right, going in last set. All right, you ready? Maybe going for at least 8. See how it feels.
Okay.
If I can push more, I'm gonna try and go for more.
Okay. Got it.
Maybe could have gotten one more with her here. But damn, that was really pushing. Just got 2 sets hips and then a few sets of calves left for the workout. Typically, I just do 2 sets of hips, you know, squeezing your legs together. I've decided that I'm not going to bother with trying to remember which is abduction, which is adduction, because I don't really think there's much of a point. As long as I know what I'm doing, that's the important part. So, training the inside of the thighs or the quads. Couldn't tell you the technical term for that muscle group, but it's the inside of the thighs. Like I said, only do 2 sets of these. Getting ready to go into the second set here in a minute. And on the first set, I did actually end up bumping the weight up 5 pounds over what I was doing last week. These have been kind of hard to progress on, but lately I would say it hasn't been too bad. I've been trying to progress at least 5-ish pounds each week or every other week. So far that's going in the right direction for me as far as being able to maintain my set amount of reps that I'm trying to hit. These I try to stay between 10 and 12 reps. And I guess I probably should have mentioned on the hack squats. Those I do like to be between like 6 and 10 reps. Usually I try to stay in like 8, kind of like the sweet spot there. If I can push, like the second set, I was definitely pushing for those extra 2 reps, and then even on the last set of those, especially with Kira there spotting me, or I guess, you know, she was just there, I probably could have gotten another rep, maybe 2, if she would have been there, you know, spotting me if I needed it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the set number of reps that I like to hit for those. Those I'll typically rest like somewhere between 3 and 4 minutes, depending on how gassed out I'm feeling after the set. Obviously, like those sets I was really pushing, so I was really winded and gassed out, so needed that extra recovery time. But these, usually I'll only do, you know, like 1.5, maybe 2 minutes of rest, which I know I've gone over now at this point. I don't think I've ever taken a set to failure quite like that on this before. Well, I usually get to the end and kind of like hit my set reps and then just kind of like finish it off with some partials. But that one, where I was like struggling to get I did end up getting 10 reps, Was ideally going to try and hit 12, but those extra 2 reps really struggling to get. So that was like that's the way that I would want to take the set to failure. Basically, like, have a set number in mind, and basically like try and like force myself or take it as close to that point as possible. Obviously you're going to failure, but as long as you're trying to get to that set target and falling short in that manner. Hope that one makes sense. It's early. It's the only way that I could, think to explain it, given the circumstances. Takes a little bit for, well, obviously now I've been here for about an hour, so it takes a little bit of time for my brain to come up to speed. Getting ready to go into last set on these calf raises. These, I'll typically do, 10 to 15 reps of these. No problem. I would prefer to stay at the lower range of that. Obviously, with a moderate load, or a heavy load, but a heavy enough load to where I can maintain or slightly maintain the lower range of those reps, similar to how I was just doing on the hip machine, where I knew I had a set target of 10 to 12, ideally wanted 12 reps, but I only ended up getting 10, and like the last 2 were really like basically taking a failure. That's how I would want the sets or the load to be for the number of reps that I want. So this first couple of sets, like first set was 15 reps. Second set was not hitting 15 because my calves were already pretty fatigued, but I did end up getting 12. Now, if I can get somewhere between 10 and 12 on this final set, then that's kind of exactly where I want to be in relation to the amount of load that I've got on here. So let's go ahead, get that knocked out, see what that looks like. All right. So, that was a good set because landed right where I wanted to in terms of reps, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, exertion, basically. That might not be the right word, but basically enough of a load to where I was able to just barely hit that target rep comfortably while still struggling for the last rep or 2. And then even taking that step further with a couple of, partial reps down at the bottom in the stretch position, just to really finish things off. That's going to be it for this workout. This one was kind of brutal. Like I said, I think it was either a combination of that extra set on the extensions, which I didn't hate. I might start doing that now going forward, do 3 warm-up sets instead of 2 on those. See how that goes for a little while. Aside from that, I am really crunched for time, so you know what? I'll do something I haven't done in a while. Go check out the pump real quick, and then I gotta get moving. Alright guys, we're just gonna check out the pump real quick, and then we'll do that here. Let's hike these things up. Definitely looking more full lately since I've started doing the leg extensions at the beginning. Yeah, definitely more full, and in certain lighting can see the definition and separation between the heads of the quads. Overall, I do think that I'm going in the right direction with pre-exhausting them through the leg extension machine before going into the main lift, which in this case would be the hack squats. Hopefully, because I've kind of started incorporating that same train of thinking into my other workouts too, like my push and pull days, just to try and pre-exhaust, get some blood flowing into those muscle groups and get them loosened up before really hammering them. So I'm hoping I see some improvement kind of across the board through doing that. I mean, so far, seems like it's been going well for me. Anyways, all that being said, guys, made it to the end. I appreciate you, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.